It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show.
Welcome to the Dep Lewis Show, episode 117. This is your host, Dep Lewis, and today is Sunday, February 23rd, 2025. A great day to be here on this podcast talking about video games and keeping you up to date with the video game world. So that is the plan. So I hope you're doing great out there in the world. Hope it's been a good week for you. Maybe you've picked up some video games. Maybe you've hit the lottery. Maybe you've been gifted a new car. Maybe you have bought a new house, or maybe something outstanding has happened to you. And I hope that's the case. And thank you for being here to listen to another episode of Dep Lewis Show. So the first order of business is to ask you to follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show available anywhere you can find a podcast. Find the best place to subscribe and listen weekly. Places like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Amazon Music, and more. Twitch.tv/DepLewisShow is a great place to follow. I am trying to get on some sort of a stream schedule, so stay tuned for that. But please follow Twitch.tv/DepLewisShow. If you'd like to support the show even further than just listening, Patreon.com/DepLewisShow is available. If you'd like to subscribe monthly, and then Venmo at Dep Lewis Show is available any day, anytime, for any amount if you'd like to support the show. So that is everything I need to tell you up front here. And now I want to tell you about the show today. So the show today is going to have three sections as always. The first section will be what video games I've been playing since I've last talked to you on this microphone. The second section, the mid section, the middle section is not mid in quality, is all the video game information and news that you need to know from the past week. And the third and final section is the miscellaneous talk section, where I can talk about anything I want to outside the video game world. So that is the plan today. So let's get into a podcast. So let's start with some video game stuff. What's been going on in my video game world? And I have had a handheld week, I guess is what I would call it. I've been playing Metroid Fusion on the Game Boy Advance. So I believe it was last week I talked about picking up a Game Boy Advance and having some fun with that. And I actually got Metroid Fusion in the mail today. So that was the first game I really wanted to get for it. I bought a test game. I bought Yoshi's Island when I bought the console just to have something to play on it when I originally got it. But Metroid Fusion ended up being the first game I wanted to pick up and play because I think it's going to be really fun just to having that handheld. I don't need a whole lot of games for it, so see how far I can get into Metroid Fusion. That's a franchise I really wanted to play more of. I played, I guess, a couple entries in that franchise, but never completed anything and would like to do so. So definitely looks good on that screen. I recommend the Game Boy Advance SP out here in the year of 2025. This one's a 101 edition, so that does make a little bit of difference on the screen quality, so that's pretty nice. And I don't think I mentioned last week, but everybody kind of knows this. This is an old console, but it does play multiple generations of Game Boy stuff, so I think that's pretty cool. Getting back into some of this retro stuff, it's nice to have consoles that have some overlap because it lets you eliminate having another box, another set of cords, and you might be able just to play them on one thing, kind of like the Xbox Series X has multiple generations of Xbox, but the Game Boy Advance SP, you can play advanced games, you can play Game Boy Color games, or you can play basic Game Boy games. So it runs the whole gamut there. And that's a pretty nice thing, and it allows you to do some pretty good collecting because you have multiple generations, all the different price points within those generations, and it allows you to get some old video games and make them feel new because they're new to your life possibly. But the plan for the Game Boy Advance SP is to play Metroid Fusion on it and just potentially pick some games up in the wild if I ever see some that are interesting to me. I think the only one I have on my wish list right now is I want to get a copy of Link to the Past to play that in handheld mode. I own a bunch of Zelda games on the 3DS, so I think it'd be cool to kind of keep the tradition going of getting some handheld Zelda games in the backlog or potential games I can play. So I think that's all my Game Boy Advance thoughts. The battery on it works pretty great. I bought kind of a beat up looking one, but it works perfectly fine. The sound is good on it. The screen looks better than you'd expect if you haven't played one in a long time. I don't know if I ever owned an Advance back in the day. I think I had an original Game Boy, maybe a Color. So it's been a nice upgrade to my handheld arsenal over here. So I've been playing Metroid Fusion. And the other game I've been playing this week, really, I've been on my PlayStation kick. I've been playing some just kind of older franchises of basically mascot heroes. I've been playing a lot of mascot heroes, but I restarted Ratchet and Clank from 2016, or I'm continuing on a file. I can't remember, but I'm back playing some of this. This game is a little bit confusing to me of what it is because it's just called Ratchet and Clank. So I was always like, hey, is this a new version? And just a quick Google shows It's based on elements from the original Ratchet and Clank PS2 version, but this version features several new planets, new Clank gameplay, new flight sequences, and much more with completely new visuals constructed to use the power of the PS4. So I wonder how close of an experience this is to the PlayStation 2 version, like the original version, and I wonder if this is the better version to play and the one that you wouldn't want to miss out on. So hopefully that's the case, but something I've been making some progress in. Never completed this game. I did complete Rift Apart on the PlayStation 5, but this was one I just played a chunk of back in the day and never got to it. So back playing some of this, and it is cool because I've been wanting to play Ratchet 1, so I guess this is as close as I can get to playing Ratchet 1 without actually getting a copy of that. So I am on the lookout for the Ratchet 1 collection on the PlayStation 3. But until then, this is a game I already own and can play, and so I've been making some progress. But on the PlayStation, I've been playing Sly Cooper. I saw the Jack and Daxter collection is on sale right now for $19.99 on the PlayStation Digital Store, so pretty cool. You get all 4 games in that package. So I think that is something I'm going to end up picking up. I think the deal goes through sometime in March, so if you're listening real time, you might have the ability to pick up on that deal. So I've been playing a lot of those style of games, Spyro, Crash, a lot of the old classics on PlayStation. So I really have been kind of on a retro kick so far this year. I don't think I've played any new games from 2025 yet, and I don't really know when I'm going to do so. But there are some games coming out soon that are of interest to me, and we're going to talk about those in the midsection. But let's think if I have any other video game thoughts. This is the year of no direction for my video game playing, so I can play whatever I want. I think it's going to be a pretty big retro leaning since I kind of got into that at the end of last year, but I'm not going to have a genre or anything specific I'm looking to play. Just play whatever I feel like and come and talk to you about that on this show every week. So that's the plan. So I think in the upcoming week, I'll be playing some more of this Game Boy, playing some Metroid Fusion. I have some games going on Nintendo. I might have played a little bit of Paper Mario Thousand Year Door this past week, but that's one game that I definitely would like to complete. So I have a short list of games that are on my radar that I need to start playing some more of, and potentially with the stream schedule I will be doing so. So that is everything I've been playing in the past week, all my video game updates, and it has been a solid week overall for some video gaming. So that's going to wrap up the intro and what I've been playing. We're going to take a quick break. You're going to hear some music, and we're going to come back for the midsection where I tell you about what's going on around the video game world. Everything you need to know so you don't want to miss it, and listen to this music, and I'll be right back. Welcome back to the midsection of Dep Lewis Show, episode 117. This is where I tell you about what's going on around the video game world that you need to know. So the first one is just a rumor. I don't know if this rumor has been debunked, but hey, this rumor was thrown out there, so I am going to mention it because you never know, it could be true. And this is in reference to one of the biggest upcoming video game releases, and that is Grand Theft Auto 6. So I think all Rockstar has really said that is coming in 2025 to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. And I believe it was Kotaku this week that ran a report or something, was pushing the rumor out there that it's going to launch on October 28th, 2025. So that is all speculation. I do not know if that's true, but kind of the first time I guess I've seen a date thrown out there for this year. And an October release would make sense. Just in general theory, having a big fourth quarter video game, and this is going to be, all eyeballs are on this video game. Really, if you are into video games, you're at least going to want to play it or hear about it in some form or fashion. So GTA 6 is going to be a big event and possibly coming on October 28th, 2025. So that is just rumor. That is just speculation, but you never know. And in this game, if you don't know, you're going to head to the state of Leonida, the home to the neon-soaked streets of Vice City and beyond, and the biggest, most immersive evolution of the GTA series yet. So mostly everybody knows what's going on with GTA. I think everybody has very high expectations for this game, and I think that is rightfully so. And this will be one I will be wanting to play day one for sure. I've had a lot of fun with the Grand Theft Auto series over the course of my life, and I thought Grand Theft Auto 5 was really, really awesome. So I would only expect bigger and better things with GTA 6, and I'll be excited to play it, and possibly on October 28th, 2025. All right, this one is not a rumor or speculation, but we do not know what this countdown is going to, and that is with the great franchise Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. They have announced there is a countdown to something that's going to be taking place on March 4th, 2025. I guess it seems video game related. I don't really know if I thought about it being something outside of video games or if there are any particular clues that allude to video games, but it said something like, stick around on March 4th, 2025 for some new information about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. So I'm hoping for, I guess, a remaster of 3 in some fashion. I've been very happy with 1 and 2. Those are some of my favorite Tony Hawk games, but number 3 is my favorite Tony Hawk game. So if we're going to get 3 bundled with maybe 4, or maybe some other games, or get a new Tony Hawk game, I'm probably going to be interested in whatever they're going to announce and be trying to purchase whatever it is day one. So very, very exciting Tony Hawk Pro Skater news on the horizon, and we're going to hear something March 4th, 2025. So you can either wait till that day or wait for that week of the Dep Lewis Show, and I will definitely be talking and giving you my thoughts on what is announced. So looking forward to some Tony Hawk information coming on March 4th, 2025. All right, what else has been going on this week in the video game world? This style of story has been done a lot lately, and it's very unfortunate. It's always sad to hear, and something to highlight for sure. So this one's pretty significant. So there's a video game out now called Marvel Rivals, a very popular game, I would say successful. It is a superhero team-based PvP shooter in the Marvel Universe developed by Marvel Games and NetEase Games. You can play it on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S, Steam, and the Epic Store. And the news is, this game came out this year. Or, I mean, not this year, but 2024. I think a little bit later in the year. So it hasn't been out that long. It's had some pretty good success. The jumping into the PvP shooter arena has been a little bit tough recently. We saw Concord last year. But Marvel Rivals has hit the ground running, I would say. Definitely having the Marvel license is a leg up and it's something that we have people interested immediately. And it seems like they've built a good hero shooter around that. But just not something I've been interested in playing really. I think I maybe did play one match of this, but it's just not my style of game at the moment I've been playing. But, the news here, so that all sounds wonderful and great. The news here is that the director and the team that created this game have been laid off. So we have an email from Thaddeus Sasser. He was the director of the video game, and he says, this was like a post he put online. It says, such a weird industry. My stellar, talented team just helped deliver an incredibly successful new franchise in Marvel Rivals for NetEase Games, and we're just laid off. Thaddeus, yes, and one thing I saw said Thaddeus may have been asked to stay himself, but they were going to lay off his whole team, and he offered himself up to be laid off with them. So, I do not know. It's kind of like a captain going down with his ship kind of thing, but either way, I think it's a tough look that they produced this game and they get laid off so shortly after. And I don't think this is a financial reason for this game. I really do think this game is doing well. So it seems unusual. It seems kind of like they had these people, do the brunt of the work, and now the rest of the video game basically is just the maintenance of the game, and they don't have any other arena to shift these people to work on, or have, I don't know. I guess they're just going to be able to have like a skeleton crew to maintain this game, having the base of it already done, but you would think they're going to want to maintain this game and add content to it. So maybe it's cheaper to do it with fresh new people or a new source of, the source of creation. I don't really know, but it just seems unusual. It's definitely a bad look on the company, but these companies are doing this all the time. This is almost old news at this point, and this is expected at this point, and this is how a lot of these places are running. They're just going to, it's brutal, and T's and P's to all the people affected by the Marvel Rivals layoff, and I think it should just at least let you think about when you go to play that game, how the people above are handling the people that created it. I think that's a tough look out there for the Marvel Rivals. But so that's the news there. The director and the team who created Marvel Rivals has been laid off. All right, what else is going on? So that's the only kind of bummer news. Well, there's maybe some Nintendo stuff that people are going to find a bummer later on, but that's definitely the major bummer news of the week. So let's get back into some more just normal video game stuff. There's a game out there called Fields of Mistria. It came out last year. It's like a farming sim, an updated take on one of those, and it is in early access. You can purchase it right now for $13.99 US on Steam. And the announcement here for Fields of Mistria is the second major update is coming March 10th, 2025. So just want to put that on your radar, talk about this game a little bit more, and let you know about this another update coming for Fields of Mistria. So the developer and publisher NPC Studio, start your new life, build the farm of your dreams as you discover a world brimming with possibilities, magic, romance, and adventures all await you in this nostalgic farming life sim RPG. So a genre that's been done and popular a lot recently, but from what I can see from this game, it is a bit of a unique take. The art style is definitely a very cozy looking and and like looks very comforting to play kind of thing. And this game has been reviewing extremely well. And the great internet person Sarapod, someone I follow on Twitch and social media, who's a streamer and podcaster and works for NPC Studio, is also is the main reason that I know about this game. So just want to point that out. And the other thing about Sarapods is she has also started a new podcast under the MinMax Show Network. I don't know if that's officially what it's called, but it's kind of a branch under MinMax. It's going to have its own new it's going to have its whole own podcast feed. So that's pretty exciting here for the new podcast called Pew Pew Bang. And the hosts of this podcast are going to be a lot of people. Well, I guess you've definitely seen all these people on MinMax, and you might know them from other places as well, but it's going to be Kelsey Lewin, Janet Garcia, Sarah Podzorski, and Haley McLean. So I'm a fan of all 4 of those people, and I think this podcast will be wonderful. They have 1 episode out right now that I have watched some of, and it's in my watch later on the YouTube currently on the YouTube. But something I am interested in keeping up with and excited that it's been created. So they're saying the first season of this is going to be 10 episodes long, dropping on Monday every other week, standalone podcast feed for it. So go follow that and be prepared for Pew Pew Bang, the new podcast from the great Sarapods and other cohorts from the MinMax crew, Kelsey, Janet, and Haley McLean. And this podcast is going to be, they're touting it's going to be evergreen video game content. So I guess it's going to stray away from news, maybe talk about more topics around the video game, just video game periphery in general, I guess is my guess here, but with slumber party vibes. And they say they're looking to get more women listeners, but anyone is welcome. So I guess it is a market they do not see too much in their analytics, and something they would like to, I guess, put some content out there for. So that is kind of a little bit of the premise of the show, but definitely in the explanation they say they're looking, but anyone is welcome to listen. So a little bit focused on on what they're trying to deliver or who they're trying to target, but obviously anybody can listen to it and enjoy it. And I think it'll be enjoyable either way, because all those people are very fun to listen to and know a lot about video games and are very funny and great at talking about them. So go check out that new podcast, Pew Pew Bang, and check out MinMax too. They're a really cool YouTube channel and podcast and network and all that kind of stuff. Go check them out. But we got down this rabbit hole because the Fields of Mistria has a second major update coming March 10th, 2025. Sarapods is doing it all. All right, what else is going on? There's been a video game released in the last week that has been a very prolific franchise recently, and this video game is titled Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. So if you're a fan of the Like a Dragon series and Yakuza franchise, you've been doing good out here in the world, especially if you can keep up with your pocketbook of paying for all these games and all the hours that it takes to play them. But it seems like they're releasing very high quality games at a rapid pace. So Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii is released, or has been released. It released on February 21st, 2025 for PS5 and 4, Xbox Series XS, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows. Developers Sega and RGG Studio, Ryuga Gotoku. I always really stumble trying to say that, but I'm thankful that people call it RGG Studio. This game for the standard edition is $59.99 US. Excuse me. In the back of the box talk on this game is a new legend begins as you step into the steel toe boots of Goro Majima, a man who has lost his memory and reinvents himself as a pirate on the open sea. So a very, well, I'm going to say whimsical, but it's a cool concept there. Embark on an over-the-top, modern-day pirate adventure with an ex-Yakuza, now pirate captain and his crew. I would just say it's a real big left turn. Engage in exhilarating combat on land and sea in the hunt for lost memories and treasure. So something that's available now, something I could see myself playing in the future. I would like to kind of start with the original. I think it's the original Ichiban game, just the Like a Dragon. So I think I want to play that, maybe get into some Infinite Wealth, and then possibly get down one of these sidetracks one day in my video gaming life with the series Like a Dragon / Yakuza. But right now, if you'd like to play Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, it is available right now. So what else is going on around the video game world? So, this is a podcast about information, and sometimes these companies announce when they're going to tell us information. So there are some rumors going on, and I guess it's more than a rumor, but we don't know when, we don't know exactly what. But Sony's going to have a showcase over the summer, and Jeff Grubb, I think, was reporting on this and says that they're trying to decide between a state of play or a showcase. So I think the showcase is kind of the more bigger ordeal. So I think that's what Grubb was saying, that they're probably leaning. And we can potentially see in this showcase over the summer for PlayStation, we might see games like Wolverine and maybe some other first-party studio updates. So that would be very nice. So I think so. I think that's what they need to do, because I think their last show was a little bit underwhelming. And I think coming back over the summer with a great plan and maybe some nice surprises and really, really exciting things could get them back on track. So I don't know. I have a little bit of apprehension these days, especially with the way things have been going with some of these announcements. I think you have to kind of wait and see on them, and getting your hopes up can be a little bit tough with some of these things. But I'm always excited for these showcases. I am definitely down to watch them, and I'm always down to come here and talk about them on the podcast. So I will for sure keep you updated. But Sony has some type of showcase or a state of play coming over the summer, and more information on that to come, and I will definitely let you know. But in the same vein of showcases, there has been confirmed, this one is confirmed, Pokemon Presents is going to take place on Pokemon Day. So this is no surprise, but this has been officially announced, which is nice. So Pokemon Presents will take place on Thursday, February 27th, 2025. It's taking place at 6 a.m. Pacific Time or 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'll be watching this or trying to listen to this in the morning. February 27th is Pokemon Day because Pokemon Green and Red were first released in Japan on February 27th, 1996. Come celebrate this day with Pokemon trainers around the globe. So it is rumored that they're going to be showing off some more of Z and A, which they announced last year in this same event and haven't really talked about too much since then. So that is kind of the sequel to Pokemon Legends Arceus. So I'm interested to see what that's going to be. I had a lot of fun playing Arceus. And the other rumor that has been swirling after the announcement of the actual Pokemon Presents has been that there's going to be a Pokemon port collection. So this is all rumored right here, but there are rumors and speculation that this port collection is going to contain gens 1 through 3. So I think the two different versions would be Pokemon Memories, which would include Red, Gold, Ruby, and Fire Red, or Pokemon Reminiscence. So Blue, Silver, Sapphire, and Leaf Green. And then they're saying also possibly a Yellow, Crystal, and Emerald for digital purchase. So a potential March 13th release date. So that is, very, very close. And I'm even surprised myself reading that of, wow, I didn't realize they were predicting that it was going to be that close. But I would be very, very excited for some of these Pokemon port remakes or past Pokemon games to be remade, because it's been something I've been kind of getting into recently with trying to find some of these old games. So I have I picked up Pokemon Pearl on the DS, and I've been playing some of that. I picked up Omega Sapphire on 3DS not too long ago, but something I haven't played yet. And I picked up Pokemon Moon on 3DS and played some of that last year. So I've been on a little bit of a Pokemon resurgence over here, and I would be excited to get a couple of these games one package, or one of these games that are really expensive, because that's been the case too. When you look at some of these games, the physical releases, you can pay pretty much all the Pokemon games, the past ones from like handheld era, are going between $50 to hundreds of dollars. So, and a lot of them are around the $100 mark or more. So you have to have a lot of cash and a lot of willpower to want to pay that to play one of these old Pokemon games. But there are some more inexpensive ones on the handhelds, but these are the ones that you want to play. So getting them in a current package, paying a $60 price and getting some remade games would be an amazing deal, and something I am very, very excited for. So I will keep you up to date on that for sure. And we are definitely getting the Pokemon Presents this upcoming week. So that's something we'll talk about next week on the show for sure. And I will be potentially doing a talk over of this, because that's something that I've been trying to get into. I've done a couple talkovers and posted them. So this is a little just aside, but I've done a couple of those. You may have seen them on YouTube, and just thank you for viewing and the support. But I ended up kind of pulling them down, kind of taking them as my rough drafts of wanting to do this. So I'm really trying to get on a schedule of doing talkovers for these events. Definitely, most likely not while they're happening, but later that day, be able to do a talkover and have it like clockwork, where if there's a show, there's going to be a talkover of me talking about it. So hopefully that'll be something you want to check out. And that's something I'm trying to get on schedule with, alongside doing some streaming, alongside doing this podcast, which I've been doing good about that, and I really, really enjoy doing. So that's why I'm trying to add some more stuff in the mix, just trying to do it at a smart pace. But Pokemon, all sorts of good information and even some rumors there. So I will keep you abreast with the Pokemon rumors that are going on in the universe. But some more sort of Nintendo. Well, this is some direct Nintendo talk, and this was the thing I was talking about earlier that people might be sad about. But the My Nintendo Gold points will no longer be possible to earn starting March 25th, 2025. So existing gold points can still be used after this date within 12 months of being earned. So they're giving you a whole year to still use your points, but you will no longer be able to accrue My Nintendo Gold points on the digital store after March 25th, 2025. So not too much of a deal for me. I think I have a couple dollars in gold points right now that I will have to use before this, possibly purchase a small digital game or something first party that I'm really interested in and be able just to get a little bit of a discount. But I don't think these things have had too much of an effect on me. It's been nice where I have purchased some digital games, and you do get a little bit back to spend on some indie games. And if it's $3 off a $15 game, I think that's pretty significant and nice. So it's nice the Switch offers a wide array of price points to play games. So, if you get a couple bucks off, it sometimes can even buy you a video game that's something quality, like the Contra Collection. I've seen that for $3.99, the Castlevania Collection. There's all sorts of crazy deals on there. So sometimes a couple dollars is really all you need. I don't think it's a significant program for me, but it's something that I've had some fondness over the time of using it. And I got to make sure I use those $2 because I'm sure there's something on the digital store that I will want. So that's the news there. My Nintendo Gold points will no longer be possible to earn starting March 25th, 2025. And you have 12 months after that to use your existing points. The other announcement they've made is that Nintendo Switch game vouchers, something we talked about on this show for a while, which they've been doing for a couple years now. But these are not going to be able to be redeemed for games exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2 system. So that is the news there. I guess they're still going to run the program on Switch 1, but they're not going to be using this for Switch 2. If you're not familiar with this, the game vouchers, you pay $100, they give you 2 vouchers, and you can basically unlock any 2 first-party games that you want to. And they have a whole list of them you can look at. But so you're saving, if 2 games is $60 a pop, 120, you're saving $20, purchasing these 2 digitally, so a decent deal. And I heard one argument this week, I believe it might have been on Nintendo Voice Chat, saying a big reason they don't want to continue this for Switch 2 could be that they're going to have the games priced at $69.99. So it kind of changes the math up a little bit there. It's 70 plus 70, 140. The voucher was $100. They're giving you $40 in savings, and that is probably something they don't want to do. So maybe they're going to have some type of new voucher system exclusive to the Switch 2, but these are all questions we really need to have answered, which they are going to hopefully do so on April 2nd. I believe that's the date for the next Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. Yeah, April 2nd, 2025 at 9 a.m. Eastern. So very, very excited for that. I guess just a little bit over a month away from getting that information, so that is very good news for myself and for the general world and video game fans. So Nintendo Switch, the game vouchers are not going to be happening on Nintendo Switch 2, but we have a lot of information we need to know about the Switch 2, so I'm not going to be too sad about the game vouchers. I don't know. I may have taken advantage of it once, because at a certain point I was buying digital games. I've gotten more recently into picking up physical when I can, but still sometimes it's nice to be able to pick up things digitally, and if you can save some money doing so, that is always a nice thing, I would say. So that is all for the Nintendo Switch. Well, no, I have one more little bit. So I'm holding a place here at the end of this midsection each week for Nintendo Switch 2 rumors, and the other one that's been out this week is there is going to be a second screen attachment accessory for the Nintendo Switch 2. So they're saying it's going to be some type of peripheral. I hope you say that word. I hope I said that word correctly. And I know you know what I'm trying to say, but that word just sounds kind of crazy to me right now. But the rumor here is that there's going to be an accessory you can buy that's going to kind of make your Switch, if you think of your Switch right now, it's going to have some type of attachment on the back or underside of it, and it's just going to fold down kind of like the clamshell. But it's going to be kind of a thin screen, have the same kind of clamshell design, and going to flip open and down, up and down kind of thing, if that paints the correct picture. So it looks really cool. I think it's an interesting idea. I think if the screen's pretty lightweight, that would be okay. But the Switch 2 is actually going to be a little bit bigger than the current Switch. And then if you're adding another screen on top of it, I think there's a question in there of how comfortable or how practical it's going to be to hold. So I think there's a little bit of a question there to the validity of this rumor based on that. But I think it's a cool idea. I think if the screen is something very thin, but that also makes you think it could be broken easily, maybe the accessory is not really that expensive. Maybe it's more on the inexpensive side would be nice for this, if it's going to be an option, because this would open up a lot of the 3DS and 3DS library, and maybe some other things even. With their mouse, they might be opening their motion, Wii library and Wii U stuff. So there's a lot of potential for getting a lot of different systems and consoles packed onto the Switch 2, and I hope it's going to be ending up that way. But The confirmed Nintendo Switch 2 information is the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct that will be taking place on April 2nd, 2025. So that is all the Nintendo rumors, news, and speculation I have for you, and that is all the news I have for you in the midsection this week. So that's going to wrap up this midsection. We talked about GTA 6, we talked about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, we talked about Marvel Rivals, Fields of Mistria, Like a Dragon, Pirate, Yakuza in Hawaii. We talked about a potential Sony State of Play or showcase over the summer. Pokemon Presents taking place February 27th, 2025. There is a rumor of a Pokemon port collection. My Nintendo Gold points will no longer be possible to earn starting March 25th, 2025. Nintendo Switch game vouchers not going to be taking place on Nintendo Switch 2 video games. We talked about the second screen potential rumor for the Nintendo Switch 2. So that's everything I have for you for the midsection this week. That's all the video game information you need to know. And you need to come back next week for more information in this midsection, because I'll just keep you up to date. You don't have to even follow the rumors, follow the news yourself. And I'll be here to give them to you as best as I can. That is the Dep Lewis Show promise. So that's going to wrap up this section. You're going to hear some more music. We're going to come back for the final section of the show, the Miscellaneous Talk section, where I can talk about anything I want to outside the video game world. It's usually pretty short and sweet. Most of the time I'm telling you what's going on with my favorite sports teams. I'm taking you through the fan journey of all my favorite teams. So that's going to be the case today. So come right back after this music. Welcome back to the final section of Dep Lewis Show, episode 117, the Miscellaneous Talk section, where I can talk about anything I want to outside the video game world. So I want to get into the worldwide world of sports, as I normally like to do, and tell you what's going on with my favorite sports team. So the Carolina Panthers, my favorite NFL team, we're basically just waiting for 2025. I'm looking for a JC Horn extension over the offseason. That would be nice. And the Panthers have the 8th pick overall in the 2025 NFL draft right now, where things stand if they don't make any moves. And they have made a move this week, and the one I want to report on is Andy Dalton has been signed back with the Panthers. The 37-year-old gets a 2-year deal worth $8 million. I guess it's $6 million guaranteed and up to 10 possible. So I think this is a solid signing. I'm happy with Bryce Young right now going into next season. I'm excited about watching him play, and Andy Dalton has been a great backup. He came in and played, made a little bit of noise, but I think has settled into being, this role being really, really great for him. So I think it's good for the Panthers. I don't think it's they didn't pay anything crazy for this. I think if Andy Dalton would have been balling a little bit more last year, this number could have been a little bit out of the Panthers' range. So hopefully this is a good situation for their cap situation, and I think a solid move for the Panthers, who hopefully are going to be having Bryce Young out there torching defenses all season, healthy, playing amazing, and getting the Panthers into the playoffs would be my hope over here. So go Panthers. Looking forward 2025, and Andy Dalton is back with the team for 2 more years, getting some millions. So congratulations to him. He has made a lot of money over his career, had a very long career. So Andy Dalton, put some respect on, I guess it's the Red Rifle's name. All right, what else is going on? The NBA. So the All-Star break took place last weekend, and we're back into the basketball swing of things. So I am halfway a Charlotte Hornets fan because I live in North Carolina now. Wednesday at the Lakers, the Hornets actually won 100-97. LaMelo was out there going crazy. They had a pretty great finish down the stretch. Miles Bridges hit a big 3, and they took out Luka and LeBron and the Lakers. So pretty great for them on Wednesday. And then Thursday, they went to play Denver. The Hornets lost 115-129. And then I guess they lost all their steam of this West Coast trip. Yesterday at Portland. They played late last night if you're on the East Coast. And the Hornets lost 88-141. So that is a drumming right there, and pretty embarrassing. I meant to look if everyone was playing. I think Bridges was the high scorer with 17 for the Hornets. So I don't know what's going on with that game, but they must be tired from their West Coast trip over there. So next week the Hornets are playing Sacramento, Golden State, Dallas, and Washington. So it looks like maybe they're staying on the West Coast for a bit and then making their way back east. So I'm hoping to check out a few more Hornets games before the end of the season myself. I want to go see them play the Hawks. That's sometime in March, and that kind of gets us into the next talk here about the Atlanta Hawks, my favorite NBA team for real. So they're back after the All-Star break. Been a pretty disappointing season for the Hawks. Thursday versus Orlando, they're back in business. The Hawks lost 108-114, however. Sunday versus Detroit, the Hawks are playing today in about 4 hours from real time now. So I'll let you know if the Hawks won today against Detroit. But Detroit has been playing very, very good. Cade Cunningham has been balling outrageous. and they have a good vibe going. I think the rest of the teams is playing good too, and they're building something pretty good over there in Detroit. So nice to see them having some success. I think their last championship was 2004, back on that really, really great team. And I don't know if they really made too much noise since then. So, props to Detroit, and I think they're going to be a formidable opponent for the Hawks today. And I want the Hawks to get it together, but I don't know if they're going to. Next week, the Hawks have Miami. They play Miami twice, and then they're playing OKC. So all 3 difficult games there, and hopefully the Hawks can get 2 out of 3 of them, I would hope. And then moving on to my favorite sport, Major League Baseball. Atlanta Braves are my number 1 team in the universe. They are in the offseason. Spring training has begun. That's one thing to report. And I am just waiting on the first game of the regular season at the Padres, March 27th, 2025. Can't wait to be watching that on the television and seeing my favorite team out there hitting home runs, throwing strikes, throwing people out on the bases, stealing bases, having fun in the dugout. Ready to see Snit get thrown out of a game. Just ready to see all the great things that baseball brings, and I'm getting hyped for it. So way to go, baseball. And the other MLB news from this week, free agency stuff. We're still getting a little bit of it here before we're getting into spring training has started. So most of the wheeling and dealing has been done, but some people are still getting picked up. And the veteran Justin Turner has signed with the Cubs. The infielder and designated hitter has signed a 1-year, $6 million deal for the 40-year-old. So he continues to have longevity in his career, continues to keep making millions of dollars, and continues to go to storied franchises. So, I'd say way to go, Justin Turner out there. I like you a lot more than back on your strictly Dodgers days. But even my heart has grown, like the Grinch, a couple sizes for the Dodgers even, since Freddie Freeman has been over there. So, and I guess a little bit of Mookie even too. Just really, really like watching him. So what else is going on with the MLB? The other announcement has been ESPN and MLB have mutually decided to end their national TV partnership after this season. So I think that's an okay idea. It's been a little bit tough to try to watch your favorite team in the baseball world. I wish it would get a little bit easier. It seems like this upcoming season I'm going to be able to pay for FanDuel Sports Network, which I believe is $19.99 a month, where I can watch the Braves games, all the ones that would be on Bally Sports from last year, which Bally Sports turned into FanDuel Sports Network, and now they're promoting this FanDuel Sports Network. I don't know if they have an app. You can watch it on your computer. So I don't think I've seen an app like on the Xbox or PlayStation or Smart TV or anything like that yet, but hopefully that's coming. I have used the FanDuel Sports Network to watch Hornets games recently and had, I've enjoyed doing so. So I'll be excited to not have to pay the full price of cable to watch the Braves games, because you are basically paying for one channel. So now they're allowing you to do so. I was thinking, hey, $20 is a lot of money each month, but in comparison to paying $80 or $100 for cable, it's a big difference. You could say, hey, you get a bunch more channels paying for the cable, but you're definitely paying for channels that you're not using. So at least $20 you're paying for the exact thing you're trying to watch and nothing more. And it's a little bit more expensive, but at least it's an option that's, better than having to pay full price for cable or something. So I think it's a good option, and I think ESPN and MLB ending their national TV partnership is okay with me, because ESPN a lot of times is tied to cable networks. So you're only able to watch those games if you're subscribed to Fubo TV, YouTube TV, DirecTV, something like that, Charter, something of the sort, to be able to watch ESPN. So I think if there's more of I don't think quid pro quo is the way, but I guess a la carte way to watch some of these channels, I am definitely game for that. So that's the MLB news for you, and that is all the sports talk I have for you this week. I'm trying to think if I have any more sports talk after I say that's all the talk I have for you. I think it's just going to be a normal week. Watch some basketball and possibly get ready for the NFL draft. I guess that's coming, I think it's some weeks away, but it can't be that far off. So maybe I'll look into some of that for next week's show here in this miscellaneous talk section. But that is really all the miscellaneous talk I have for you for this section today. So we talked about all my favorite teams, the Carolina Panthers, the Charlotte Hornets, the Atlanta Hawks, and Atlanta Braves, and we talked about some general MLB news. And that is going to wrap up the entire show. That's the end of it. That's all I got for you for the Dep Lewis Show, episode 117. I want to reiterate some promotional talk from the beginning. Follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show available anywhere you can find a podcast, so find the best place to subscribe and listen weekly. Places like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Amazon Music, and more. Twitch.tv/DepLewisShow is a great place to follow. If you'd like to support the show even further than just listening, Patreon.com/DepLewisShow is available if you'd like to subscribe monthly. Also, Venmo at Dep Lewis Show is available any day, anytime, for any amount if you would like to support the show. And I thank you for listening. I really, really do. And I hope you have a great week out there in the world. I hope you get to play some fun video games. I hope you get to watch some sports. I hope Pokemon Presents announces everything that we want them to this week and come back next week and I'll be talking about that. And I just hope you have a wonderful week out there in the world. Please come back next week for another episode of Dep Lewis Show because that is where I'll be. And I will see you then.